Hello everyone, I am here today with a new process video. I'm working on a single page 6x12 layout with some photos from Canada. This is still the Notre Dame Cathedral Basilica in Ottawa, but I think this is the last layout I have for this. It's very gold. I'm not exactly sure what all I want to do with it here. There is some white/silver as well with all of these candles that you see here. They appear in multiple photos. So I think I could maybe use this and choose some of the silver instead of the gold and it would be okay. But I'm also considering for this pocket, I don't really need to journal because I've had two other layouts where I've done journaling. I'm considering maybe doing vellum. I know I have some kind of opaque vellum with white script writing on it that obviously you wouldn't read it. It's just there sort of as a background element. But could I do that and then put this on there? Could I just do plain vellum to soften it up and give sort of this translucent look like that? I'm not sure, but it's an idea I have. And then really I just need to embellish the other photos. I do have some blank space like right here. This is just calling for ephemera or an embellishment or something. There's lots of dead space there. Really, I would like to have, three things around for the visual triangle. So I could go here, here. Something would have to be over here. I don't even know where that would be. But these are all ideas I have as I'm at the start. And I'm still fighting this cold that I've had. I think I'm on the tail end of it finally. But I would love to be able to have my ears be open, my voice completely back. All of those things that we take for granted every day. I pulled out my specialty paper bin because that is where I tend to keep all of my vellums that I have. And I have pulled out some things. I actually also found some acetate that, without looking at it next to my photos, I feel like, oh, that might look good. We'll see what happens when I actually pair them up to the photos. Maybe I'm completely wrong with what I think will look good, but we'll find out. Before I show anything that I picked out of the bin, I realized on the previous layout so this is how I had this before. On the previous layout, this space is also where the journaling card occurs. So just to mix things up and not have everything look the same, I'm actually going to move this over. I still want it at the bottom. I think it looks okay there. I'm going to put the card here instead. I could also flip these if I really wanted to, but there's some blue showing here and also here. So I think I want to keep it this way. There's a little bit here, but not nearly as much as that ceiling. So I think I'm going to do it like that, but here are the papers. So the first one, I just have a chunk of plain vellum. Obviously, that would be fine because it matches everything. Putting one of these on there would be fine. But if I want a little bit more of a pop, this is that paper I was talking about, and I don't know if the camera's going to show up very well. But you can kind of see their script writing in here going several different directions. This was the one I was thinking about. I thought I had a chunk of this left, but I must have used it all because there were 2 sheets to a pack. So I think I used all of the other one. So I would have to cut into this new sheet, but that's fine if I decide that's what I want. Then I had this chunk, which is like a newspaper type print on it. Again, very, very opaque, so you wouldn't even really notice it. You don't need to know what it says. It's not important. Either of these, again, would be fine because you're barely seeing any of the print there. Then I found this. I forgot I had it. And I liked the idea that these circles look like the tops of the candles. But when I see it up here, it's too much. I mean, if I did that plus this especially, way too much. Yeah, that's not going to happen. So even though in my head this was a good idea because it matched the shapes and stuff, it's not a good match. I also found 2 chunks of acetate that I had cut into and used for something else. So here's this one, which just has dots on it. It's not horrible. I mean, it's busy, but it's not horrible. But again, I have the problem, if I put this over it, is that too much? I like it better than this, but it's still kind of a lot. So I have to think about that one. But I just love the color of it. I think the color looks good. And then this one, I think, did I buy this? I think they had, these are all from my Pretty Little Studio, I believe. I think they had a set that was European inspired, because they had some that were called Amsterdam and some sheets that were called Prague. I think this was from Prague, and it just has yellow and blue dots. Now, that may seem strange. However, I do have that blue that I pointed out. The yellow kind of works with the gold. It's not too far off. So I could layer that if I wanted to, just for a little color. It certainly is not as subtle as the others, but I'm not willing to get rid of it because I kind of like the idea of the color. And now this was the last one. This is a full 8x8 sheet. And it's foiled stars, which I like, but again, this is probably too much. It's pattern on pattern. So probably not that. So I have some decisions to make about what I want to use. These are my most likely candidates here, but that still gets me 4 options. 4 is a lot. So I'm going to have to make up my mind. Before I make my decision on what to use in this pocket, I thought maybe I should take out my ephemera to see if there's anything in here I can use, either on this photo, elsewhere, maybe even on here, but something that's blue, because it's really the only other bright color that comes through with what's in these photos. Again, I have a little bit there, ceiling's peeking out a little bit here, so I'm just wondering, is there anything in here that would work? So I'm going to dump it all out and see what's in there. I did find some elements in here that are blue. Oops, not that one. These over here that were all considerations. I also found this piece of 2x2 paper that I had cut out, because sometimes I do 2x2 pockets. So those are in there as well. And I liked it because it was a fleur-de-lis. And this chapel was designed, there's definitely French influence here, even though it was Ottawa. We're not in Quebec yet. But it's too dark. It's really more of a dark navy, which isn't this blue. So I decided no on that one. But there was this in there. And the patterns that are in there, I think actually go really well with some of this. It's fancy, but it's refined. And it's ornate, but not distracting. So I wondered if maybe I should just like cut a piece of vellum, put that on there, and then layer like one of these bigger crosses on there. Because then I'd get the blue and I'd get the cross. Plus I've got the nice subtle background with the vellum. I'm wondering about that. But then it's a matter of, if I do that, what else goes, you know, up here? If I use something like this, it kind of has to be from the top of a photo, which really doesn't work with what I had going here. I really need something that can be at the bottom or potentially hang off the side somewhere. So I'm not sure those are the best. I do also have this little circle that just says date. It is darker than what's here. So again, not sure about that. I love this, but this is certainly like, I mean, it could work maybe, but I'm not crazy about that it says this view. That's clearly meant more for outside. Not that you can't use it indoors, but I'm not super happy with anything that I have here. So I'll keep looking, because I still have this stuff left in the bag. I only made it about 3/4 of the way through the stuff, so maybe there's something else in there. But I'm really liking this idea. So I feel like I should do it and then just figure this out around it. So while I was looking through these elements, I realized I kind of messed up my option for a visual triangle by switching these pockets, because now, you know, I thought I would be here, here, and here. If I put this here, then it probably has to be somewhere up here. That kind of ruins that space. So I think it's going to have to go back to where it was, which is fine. So I have that there. I did find this that just says a must see. So amongst all of this stuff, I have that one. So I could put that like right there in that lower corner. Then I still would need something potentially over here. Maybe like up here in this space. So I'm thinking something circular. But what I have here doesn't necessarily work for that. I have tons of circle elements like this, because I bought like 10 different digital files that have circles in different sizes, with lines, without lines, all the colors. In my bag of those, I probably have something that's a little bit more closer to these blues rather than navy, where I could cut it, use it, put something there, either stamp on it, a puffy stick or something. So I think I'm going to pull those out too. All right, I have found one. I'm going to use this one. It's very simple and plain, and I will just clip off the extra, but it'll go right up there. That way I don't really lose anything in the photo. And then I'll have my visual triangle. And then I have to figure out which background. I've just let the plain vellum sit there, but do I want that? Do I want one of these other ones? I still have to figure that out. So I've surprised myself a little bit here. I decided to cut down all the pieces I had just to see what I like the best. I think I'm actually going to go with the acetate that has the yellow and blue on it. I really like how it brings stuff in. And I've already adhered this to it, and I like the way that looks, but I realized you can see the writing on the back of the photo, the printing information, which I don't like. So I'm just going to take this piece of vellum I already had cut down. I'm going to put it behind it. That makes it softer. You can barely see it. And then when this goes on top, even less so, I don't find it as distracting to do it that way. So I think that's what's going to be in that pocket. I'm going to keep these the same, and then I just have to put my sticker on there. So I have everything done except to put something here. And originally I thought gold star because of all the gold, but I think I'm actually going to go silver to bring in more of this white, gray, potentially silver tone. So I've grabbed out these. I have 2 sets of these that are brand new. I used what I had and then they were on sale, so I ordered 2 more. So I'm just going to take this little one here. Attach it right like that. I left just enough room, which is good because I just eyeballed that. I did not measure or anything. So there we go. Let's put it in the pocket. And hopefully this one is finished. All right, there we go. What do we think, Care? I think that's good. I don't think it needs anything else. So yay, here's another one done for Canada. Thanks for watching.